Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a video that I have looked forward to for a really long time. We are doing XL hard gel nails. Now if you want to start doing gel nails or you've just started and you're struggling, what we are going to do today, we're going to break everything down in baby steps. We are going to be focusing on building the correct structure, controlling the gel, and we're going to do a really easy design. So the nails have been prepped and we are going to be applying tips today by using a gel glue. You can also use a base gel. It needs to be cured, or you can just put the tips on the normal way. So sized up sidewall to sidewall, really important. I've applied a thin coat of gel and all I'm doing is I'm trying to support them from the underside, push them down so you don't get any air bubbles, and I am just flash curing them with my little lamp so that they don't move. You have to kind of press it down firmly. So, and these actually stick better than with glue. So that's how I prefer to do them. After they're all done, I am going to give them a full cure in the lamp. So we are going to start blending the tips, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay off the natural nail. I'm actually working in front of the seam. We just kind of want to even it out, and then we need to mat the entire surface down because gel will not stick to a smooth surface. So take your time. If this was a real person and not a practice hand, I wouldn't have put the tips as far up as what I've done, but I needed to, otherwise they just wouldn't stick on properly. So as I said, just taking my time and matting down the nail, low speed, a medium sanding band. When that's done, we are going to give them a good dusting off, and I'm going to go in with a stiff brush with some cleaner on it to make sure that I get rid of any dust residue. So I'm just going to apply a thin coat of primer to all of the nails. I'm staying off the tip, that's not necessary, and stay off the skin and the cuticle, and you let that dry properly. And I am just using an acid-free primer from Crystal Nails. So the first thing I am going to do is I am going to go in with a thin coat of hard gel base coat, and I am going to apply it on the natural nail and also on the tips so that we get some really good adhesion. Now what I'll do is I'll go into my pot and scoop up a small amount on one side of the nail. You do not need a big amount. What you can do is you kind of just work it into the nail almost as if you scrub it, and you just pull it down on the plastic tip. As I said, just make sure that you kind of get it really well in those grooves. Hard gel and hard gel base needs to be filed off. What you can do, if you like to change your nails a lot or they're a little bit thin and brittle, you can actually use a soak off base gel instead, so that you can remove your hard gel with a file and then just take the rest of the base off with acetone. We are going to be using a hard gel from Saviland today, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a slip layer. That means I'm just going to pull a thin amount over the entire nail, because that means that the gel knows where to go and we're going to manage to cover it. Because the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put down a protective layer, and so that when we remove the nails we don't actually file onto the natural nail plate. You've just got that little tiny bit of protection there. As you can see, I'm scooping out the pot with one side of the brush and just tapping that string off. When I apply it on the natural nail, I'll go up to the cuticle and kind of push it gently around before I start bringing it down. Now, what you don't see in this part is that I actually just flash cure the nail a few seconds in between so that the product doesn't run away on me. I do not want gel going into the cuticle or sidewalls. We need to keep it clean. Now, because I've got that protective layer of gel down, I can go straight in with my design. And we're just kind of doing something random today with a hard builder colour gel. You can also use gel polish, and I am going to be applying it in 2 coats. So the first thing I'm going to do, again, is just lift off a little tiny bit on the one side of my brush, and I am going to apply it down the same way I would gel or gel polish. Put it up really carefully to the cuticles and then pull it down at the sidewalls. And then I'm just going to kind of feather it down with my brush. I mean, this is a really easy design. You can kind of do it exactly how you want it or whatever colours you want it. You can see I'm not concerned about getting a perfect application on this. And what I'm going to do is I am going to be encapsulating this, so those little bumps and lumps, they don't bother me. It's the encapsulation and the gel on top that I really need to be super smooth. So what I'm going to do is, when I'm done with all 5 nails, I'm going to give it a full cure. Okay, second coat, I've sped this part up. We're going to do exactly the same, just enhance the hair colour, and I'm going to cure that. My idea today is to fill in the negative space with foils and some really pretty glitter. That's the clear part. So first of all, I'm going to put down a thin layer of base coat that I'm not going to cure. Again, I'm just putting it where I want it, just randomly. And I am going to do the exact same thing with all of the other nails, just to fill them. So when I'm happy with that, I am just going to give it a real quick flash cure, and then I'm going to move on to the next one. And I'm going to do it the exact same way, thin coat of base coat first that I don't cure. If you're a beginner, I think a practice hand would be a really, really good investment. Get a decent one. I've just bought this off Amazon just to give it a try. You should also be practicing on yourself and eventually other people, but just to kind of get the hang of it, this would be a good way to get a start, and that saves you from keep filing down your own nails as well. Now, the reason I am using base coat to put the foils down and the glitter eventually is because it is a lot thinner, and we don't want to be bulking the design up. So I don't particularly want to put it in builder gel. I try to use it in base gel, and that makes it stick as well. And when I'm done with all of them, I'm going to give them a full cure, just to make sure that it's really stuck. So I am going to go in with some blue and some pink glitters, and they're really, really pretty. Exact same way, thin coat of base gel first without curing it, and I'm going to put the pink on top of the blue, because I've noticed that sometimes if you've got pink transparent, well, gels or glitters or whatever, they will actually bring out the colour that's underneath. Now, as you can see, when I am applying glitters, these are kind of glitter flakes. I'm actually going to use my gel brush and place them on, because if you're going to use a silicone tool, they won't pick up in the same way. So I feel that this is the easiest kind of way to do it, and I don't like kind of throwing them across the nail. I like to be in control. So again, just filling in the negative spaces where I want them, and when this is done, I'm going to give them all a full cure. So now we are going to start building the structure, and the idea of this first step is to prevent the gel running into the cuticles or sidewalls when you start to apply it, because you are going to need a fair amount of gel on nails like this. And it's also hot in here, so the gel is runny. Right, first of all, I am going to pick up a fairly small amount, push it into the cuticle, not into the cuticles, and kind of, what should I say, make little circles. So just to fill in the top part of the nail. Now I'm going to lay my gel brush flat, and I kind of split it, and the reason I do that is because you're going to get a nice horseshoe kind of thing come round, or a ledge. So when you continue to work, what's going to happen is it's not going to run to the sidewalls. So that's my little tip. That's how I do it if I do a really, really long nail. And as I said, I always flash cure in between. It's only like 10 seconds or something until I move on to the next one, just enough to set it. Now, another great way, because we are breaking this down, is that you're going to avoid the heat spikes. If you get a massive amount of gel on straight away, that will burn when you put it into the lamp. It's not going to harm you, but it's going to hurt like. Now, when you start working with gel, I would definitely recommend that you either get one of these little baby lamps that I've got, or that you even better would get one of those goosenecks, because it can sometimes be a bit troublesome to keep putting your hand in and out the light, and you can actually work faster if you just got one of these handy, and they don't take up any space. Try to keep contact with the gel while you're working. If you keep lifting the brush up and down, you risk kind of working bubbles into it, and with clear gel you just don't want that. So when they're done, I'm going to give them a full cure. Now the next step is I am going to grab a blob of gel, and I am going to roll it off, and I'm going to try to keep the gel in front of me. I'm not starting as far up, I am starting almost, what shall I say, where I finished off, and we're going to kind of be working in between that ledge, and like I said, that ledge is actually going to prevent it from running everywhere, and it's easy to control. Now when I divide it up like I do, and as I said, I would never build a great big massive nail with lots and lots of gel. This particular nail, you can see that I am missing in the middle because it's like got a dip, so I'm going to fill that out, and then I'm going to give it a flash cure. I want to show you what we're trying to achieve. If you look at the other nails, look how flat they are. That is a too flat structure and they will snap. So as you can see, I am literally just getting decent amounts of gel that I'm placing on the nail, and I'm kind of going to work in circles all the way down and then pull out at the front. Now it's fairly hot in the room and I did heat the gel up, so it is quite nice and runny, and that will make it easier to work with. But as I said, you need to be able to control it, and I think this is where beginners make mistakes. They try to control too much gel at a time, and gel is hard, it really is. So just looking at where I am missing a few bits, and I am going to add where I need it. And you're actually, even though you might think that it will take you longer, it won't. It's going to take you much longer to try correct a nail where everything has just flooded, because it's going to take a while for you to see the structure, and you're going to end up filing and filing and filing. Now, I'm not criticising everybody, this is just my personal opinion, but you've probably heard that people say that tip your hand upside down if the gel is running, and that's the way to get a good apex. I would actually say the opposite, believe it or not. I would say as a beginner, you should try not to do that. And the reason that I'm saying that is because tipping your hands upside down if you've got a lot of gel that's flooding, what that is going to do is it might actually throw your structure more off. You're going to get a great big mountain that pulls underneath, and it's going to be hard to actually control and see where it's going to go, and you might give somebody a really, really bad heat spike. I think it's more important to learn product control and product amount, but as I said, my opinion. And the way I keep my brushes nice is that I leave a small amount on the brush. I'm just going to take a lint-free wipe and just take some of the excess off so that it's kind of pinched together again. And I'm going to put the cap on and I store the brush upside down. So okay, they're done. I'm happy with them. So I'm just going to give them a good wipe with some cleaner, and just to kind of get an idea of the structure I'm looking for. And I'm just going to kind of do the sidewalls straight just to get an idea, so I haven't got loads of bulge everywhere, and I am using a 100 grit file. Now this is a medium safety bit, and what I'll do is I'll go around the cuticles first. I am actually just trying to get a nice shape and refine the apex and the free edge, and get rid of any bulk. And this is easy to work with because you won't cut anybody with it. So as you can see, it files quite well, and we never had a massive amount on the nails to start with, so we're going to save some time when we file. So the next bit we're going to be using is a personal favourite of mine. It is a tapered, it's ceramic, but you get them in other materials as well. And what you can do is, this is fine, just work around the cuticles to get rid of any product that's run, same with the sidewalls, and it's going to help you get a really nice shape because it's kind of got a cone to it, so you're going to be working around, you're not going to be working with a flat bit that's going to flat anything out. This is kind of just to finish off, to give you a really, really nice surface. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish the final shape off with a file and kind of even it out. And I'm going to use a buffing block just to get rid of any scratches. I am going to dust that off quickly, and I am going to put a thin layer of base coat down on all the nails that I'm going to cure. And I am super excited for the result. So let's see how they ended up. So thank you so much guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any nail crazy. And until the next time, bye.